take us about 30 to 40 minutes to enjoy this lovely, peaceful and relaxing and creative session. So before we begin, I would just like to probably get ourselves into the zone to begin with, because I know a lot of the time when we come to do any kind of me time exercises or things that we want a wee bit of peace and quiet for, we're coming in from a very busy schedule, or a screaming house full of children, or having an argument with the partner, or whatever it may be. So what I want to do is, first of all, is just take ourselves into the present moment, and just very, very briefly and quietly and mindfully, I would just like you to just take a deep breath in. And out. And another deep breath in. And out. And one last time in. And exhale. Okay, so the reason I like to do that is because it just gets me into the present moment. And that is exactly precisely where we want to be right now. So shut that door, get that candle lit, have yourself a wee cup of whatever your favourite beverage is. I like to drink water. Have that ready for yourselves. And I'm going to run through very, very quickly what we're going to need for today's session. What we will need is a journal. Any kind of journal at all, whatever way you can have it. But you can get these beautiful little journals for $1.90, very, very cheaply in any art shop. It's A3 size, and what you really want is a blank paged one, okay? Try to avoid the ones with lines, because, well, I'll go through all that in a wee while. No lines, okay? They must be blank. So you need that. What you will also need is a little jar of water, pencils, pens, whatever you like to draw with, or doodle with, or write with, colouring pencils, perhaps maybe some markers or gel pens. You will need a little brush as well. Where's my brush at? Okay. And what you will need is some coffee. Yes, for drinking, if you want, but we need coffee in a little saucer with water. Okay, so sprinkle on a little bit of water, or a little bit of coffee, and we're going to then add some water to it. You can either spray water onto it or add some water from your jar onto it, okay? So what you're going to do is add a little bit of water. I'm just going to try and show you here. I'm going to put this down. We're not actually getting into the session just yet, but I've added a little bit of water there. And what you're going to do is you're just going to mix around the water and the coffee so that it gets nice and liquidy, okay? We don't want it too light and we don't want it too dark either. So get a nice wee happy medium, and you can test it out on a wee page if you want. Okay, this is just a wee plate that I have, and the coffee then would dry in it whenever I'm not using it, and then whenever I want to reuse it again, all I do is add the water to it. There's a nice little mixture there, so you can kind of see that. Okay, so we're going to be using that in a wee while, not just yet. So just bear in mind that at any stage you can pause this video to maybe go and get a few things in case you've forgotten something, or in case you need to go and get a drink, or you need to run to the loo, whatever it is. You can pause this video at any time, and then when you come back, just hit play again. Okay? Because we want this to be at a flexible kind of time that will suit you. All right? So, the very first thing we need is our journal, right? So like I said right on, a nice blank journal. So when you look at that, right? When you look at your own journal you have there in front of you, just flick through it, okay? We're being mindful here now, okay? And we're being in the present moment. Flick through it. What are the thoughts that's coming into your mind right now? Just take a few moments to think about it. I want you to touch the journal. I want you to look at the journal. I want you to smell the journal. I always love the smell of new books. If you're crazy like me, love it. Okay, what's it feel like? What's the first impression? Make a judgment of it, right? So you may find that you're coming up with things like, it's blank, it's white, it's clean, and there's nothing on it, it smells new. You might get a sense of perfection from this. You might look at a white page and think, oh, that scares the living daylights out of me. That happens me. So just whatever's running through your mind, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be like, what is this one on about? Whatever's going through your mind, let it pass, okay? You just make your thoughts flow, all right? Because that is primarily the whole essence of creative journaling is thought flow, word flow, imaginary flow, okay? So this is what I'm trying to get at here. And also, what I'm trying to now get at is when you think of all those things, like blank, a new book, perfection, how does that make you feel? For many people, that will bring you back to school. I know it does for me, and it did for me at the very beginning. School, where you get a perfect book. But is there a wee bit of excitement in there as well? You know, where will we start? And, you know, this is like a perfect book. We want to keep it nice and clean. We want to keep it neat and tidy. We want to keep it perfect. We want the pages to have no dog ears. All of those things that we were taught in school. Okay? So I want you to think of all those things just for a few seconds, right? Now, either that will excite you and you will love it, or I think for many of us that will make you think, oh God, oh, I hated school, I hated trying to get things right, I hated the pressure of having to write something, I hated the stress that it brought, the judgment, the self-judgment, the critiques, all of that, you know, all that stuff. That's what it does for me, right? So as a creative human being, as a creative individual, I don't like that. So I want to break free from that. I want to jump out of that box into my own box. Into not even a box. I want to get out of a box entirely. I want to feel free. I want to be me. I want to be self-expressive. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want rules. Okay? So this is where we're going here. All right? So hopefully that excites you. So the very first thing that we are going to do is we are going to wreck this journal. Yep. We're going to wreck it. So, are we ready? Now, this freaks a lot of people out. So be prepared to be freaked out. And I think this is the best thing. Because what we want you to get out of here is that box of perfection. We want you to lose that sense of getting it right. We want you to lose that sense of having to get it perfect. Okay? So work with me here and do exactly as I say. If you don't feel like you want to do this, please, I urge you, do it. Now, you don't have to do it to the whole journal if you don't feel you want to, but you can do it to the entire journal. And we are going to do this. You make the decision of how many pages you want to do, or if you want to do the whole thing. But we are going to pick a page. I'm just going to go to the first page here. And we are going to scrunch that page up. Squeeze it, scrunch it, press it down. We are wrecking this journal. Get your next page, do the very, very same thing again. We are wrecking, squinching, smashing this journal up, wrecking this journal. Get another page, do the same thing again. Alright? So keep going to as many pages as you want to do. Right? Now, at the start, you might find if you're the person who thought, oh, I don't want to do this, you may be a wee bit cautious with it. For many, I would say 90% of us think this is absolutely amazing. And people start going mad. Now, let me tell you, I do this in schools as well, and the kids absolutely love it. From the age of 5 right up to the age of 18. They absolutely love it. Okay? So, get into that zone. smash up that journal, okay? So you're going to smash up that journal, and once you finish smashing it, I want you just to flatten out your pages a little bit. Okay, flatten them out. And what I also want you to do is, now feel free to pause this video to continue scrunching. I'm just against time here, so I won't be able to do the whole book. What you might want to do as well is take a wee nick out of the top of the page and rip that page down. Okay, so you're going to have some ripped pages as well. So you're going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you have a smashed journal, okay? Pages that are halved, pages that are took off from the corners, dog ears, scrunched, wrecked pages, okay? That's what you're going to have. And the next thing we're going to do is, just in a second though, we're going to add some coffee to these pages. And this is what you see here, okay? We'll go through that in a wee second. But first of all, let's pause for a minute, right? How do you feel right now? Some people will be saying, I feel free. I feel I've got rid of all that anger that I had from that person I was mad at this afternoon. I got rid of some sort of, I don't know, whatever it is, you've unleashed something, okay? Some of you, a very small minority of you, will be thinking, I didn't like it. I did it, but I didn't like it. And that is okay. The point of this is that we are all different and we are all unique and we all have different ways of expressing ourselves. There is no one way, okay? And that is the way we want to continue with this journal. So a lot of people come into being creative and doing journal work and they're thinking they have to get it perfect. It has to be right. There can't be any spelling mistakes. There can't be any dog ears. There can't be any this. There can't be any that. It can be whatever it is. There's no right. There is no wrong. And that's absolutely what I love about creative journaling. I have so many journals. That's only a selection of what journals I have here. And I'm going to show you a few in a moment. But I just love journaling. Journaling is a part of my week. It's a part of my day. It's a habit. For me, it's like brushing my teeth. I do it a little bit every day. It's absolutely fantastic. I do it for my mind. I do it for my soul. I do it for my creativity. I just do it for me time. I do it for chill out time. Whatever. This is just something that I've made part of my daily routine. And I have to say that it has changed my life completely. Which is why I'm so passionate about it. And which is why I love sharing it with people. So, we've got our book now, and we have smashed it, we have wrecked it, we have put dog ears in it. It is now a part of us. It is now an extension of who we are. Okay? So that's what your journal is. And if you're a crazy little creative soul like me, you will have names for your journals. But I'll maybe go through that in a wee while, alright? All my journals have names, because these are my little pets. They're part of me. So you can name your journal if you so wish. So what we're going to do now is we are going to just pick any page at all. Now we're not going to start on the first page because that's a rule. That's a rule that has been built into us from school, that we must start on page 1 up at the top left hand corner. Well, we are not doing that. Oh no. We are breaking these rules and we're going to start anywhere we want. You can start on the last page if you want. You can start in the middle if you want. You can start wherever. I'm going to start on the second page here. Okay? I'm just going to move these over a little bit to give myself some room. I need lots of space. And we're going to get our coffee that we've mixed up. If you haven't mixed it up yet, pause the video. Go and do that now. Get your coffee and water. So, I love doing this as well. This is so relaxing. So this is my ritual. I call this my creative ritual. And I love to do this before I do anything creative at all. I can't begin to start any creative work until I get in the zone. So this is us getting into the zone here, okay? So get your lovely little creative journal and you're just going to paint out the coffee and stain those pages. Now the reason why I'm using coffee is because I love coffee. Well, apart from that, everybody will have coffee in the house. Okay, not everybody will have paints. You can also use watercolours to do this, which I have done in my books, which I'll show you in a wee while. So you can use watercolours, the same thing. You can use watered down acrylics, the same thing. But coffee or tea bags, but coffee I find works best. It's something that we will all have and we can all use today. So spread that out. And when you're doing that, what we're trying to do here is we're in the present moment, okay? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to open up our senses and become more self-aware. We want to be in the right now. We want to be in the present moment. So the only way you can ever be in the present moment is if you're using some or all of your senses. Now, you're never usually going to use all of them at one time, but you're going to use 1 or 2, maybe 3. So while you're doing this, I want you to be aware of the texture that is now happening on your page. Look at the texture. Look at those beautiful creases and lines. I want you to be aware of the smell. Now, I love the smell of coffee. So take in that smell of coffee. Some people mightn't like the smell of coffee. Most will. Take in the sound. Listen. You can hear my clock ticking in the background. What are you hearing in your environment? Listen to the brush going across the paper, the crackling of the paper. Listen. Okay, so already we are using 3 of our senses. And I could nearly argue that you're using a 4th sense, which would be your creative imagination. Alright, so you can do as many pages as you want in that journal right now. You can pause the video and keep doing this for 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever. I find that people love to do this for usually about 10 to 15 minutes. I don't have that time now, however, but if I'm doing this in a real workshop situation, that's how long I will usually give for it. Sometimes 20 minutes, depending on my group, sometimes half an hour. Okay, so that is that. So we're just going to stick to 2 pages for now. And what you will then have, which I showed you earlier, will be beautiful stained pages. And you'll see whenever you start to add coffee, if there's a torn page, it comes through to the other side, so you're getting a deeper grade of colour there as compared to that page. You know, you're getting all different shades, all different textures. You can leave some pages blank. You can do some pages with watercolours. You know, it's entirely up to yourself. You decide. It's your journal. Okay, so you will find after today's exercise with me that you will want to probably continue this on by yourselves. Or even with me, I do my own online workshops all of the time. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to let that dry. Now, usually if we want to speed up the process, I have a hairdryer. I'll blast that with my hairdryer. And sometimes that gives a lovely, beautiful, you know, running effect as well, especially if it's very, very watery. But for the time being, we're just going to let them sit for a minute because I want to show you through some of my journals before we go on to the next wee stage. And I want to actually read you out a little poem that I have written, that I like to read out to all my groups who begin this creative journaling process. So, most of us will be coming into this, we've never done this before, we've maybe dabbled in a little bit, we've done a little bit of writing, we've done a little bit of art, but we've never really done creative journaling before. So we don't know what it is. Well, it's not really anything as such, it can be whatever you want it to be. For me, it's word flow, it's poetry, it's thoughts, it's rambling thoughts, it's gibberish, it's art, it's doodling, it's scribbling, it's painting, whatever it is you want it to be. That's what your journal is, okay? So in my journals, I have lots of all of that, as you will see. So I have loads of things. I do collage in there. I have you know, little kind of diagrams. I have words. I have cutouts of different words from magazines. It's different things, thought processes. I do some drawings as well, which I don't really have in this one, but just all sorts. Let me just show you this one here. You know, I have more doodles in this one, like little sketches, self-portraits, things like that. You know, you can stick in little pieces of art. You can doodle little things. You know, sometimes I just love pattern, a little bit of collage, decoupage. And what I'm always doing here is I'm always collecting things. I don't know if you may be a little bit like me. You'll always have a load of magazines. You'll always have stuff that you see in magazines or newspapers and think, oh yes, I love that, and you'll cut it out and keep it. I keep things all of the time. I don't know, I mightn't know at the time what I'm going to use them for, but I'll always find something for them later on down the line. This is one they call Word. It's mostly just words in this one. Okay, so your journals can be whatever you want them to be. So before we go any further, I want to read you out this little poem. Now, I wouldn't classify myself as a poet, especially not way back whenever I started this. I now would call myself a little bit of a writer, a word flow artist, okay? Basically because that's what we all are. You know, if we write, we're writers. If we, you know, write some poems, we're poets. We don't need a degree to tell us what we can do. If we can do it from the heart and soul, that's what we are. So I want to read this out to you. This is then going to bring us into the next phase of our session. And I entitled this little piece, Freedom, because I just love freedom. Freedom to be me, to do things my way. Freedom to express outside of the box. Freedom to explore without any lines. Freedom to create the real me. Freedom to unravel my unspoken story. And the freedom to be unafraid to be different. Freedom to leave a box unticked, a question unanswered, a plan unplanned. Freedom to return to thoughts, feelings and emotions. The freedom to share my soul, my passions and my dreams with the world. Now, I just love sharing that with people. That came to me just through word flow. Don't ask me how, it just came. And it came easy. I think the more you write gibberish, the more you write nonsense, the more things will start coming to you. Never fear what's in here or what's in here. Unleash it. Because that is part of the journey. That's how we grow. That's how we flourish. So I hope you enjoyed that little piece. So that is what I'm trying to initiate today. That freedom. Freedom to be me. Okay? Freedom to be you. So, let's get cracking. So we might need a hairdryer. So if you want to blast yours with a hairdryer, I'm going to use one that's already prepared on this, just to speed along the process. And what I'm going to get you to do now is I'm going to get you just to grab a pencil, or a colouring pencil, or a black pen, something not too fancy yet, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of doodling. Actually, I am going to use a black pen. So, let me just shift a few wee things around here. I have that much on this desk. Okay, so I'm going to move this camera down a little bit. And I'm going to move right here. So hopefully now you guys can see this a little more clearly. So what I want you to do now is I want you to get your pen, your pencil, whatever it is. I want you to close your eyes. All right? And I want you to doodle on the double page. Don't just be restricted to one page. You're going to use a double page. Okay? Doodle. So close your eyes and doodle. Just go with the flow wherever you want to go. You can go fast. You can go slow. My eyes are closed here. Wherever you want to go. You might find sometimes you'll come off the page. That's fine. Now what you want to do here is you want to be loose. So we're trying to loosen you up here, okay? We're trying to be less rigid. So if you find that you were holding your pen down the very, very tip like that, like as if you're going to start writing an essay, we're going to lose that. I want you to bring your hand right up. Okay, so your eyes are obviously open at this stage. Bring your hand right up to here and very, very, like you only loosely hold it, right? Very, very freely and relaxed. Bring that round. Okay? And you can stop there. Open your eyes, take a wee look. Oh my God, what have I done? I've totally messed up my page. Yes! That is the aim of the game here. Okay, I want you to grab another pen or another pencil. I'm going to use a thicker pen this time. And you want to do it now. Maybe this time with your eyes open. Okay? You've a wee bit more control now this time. This pen is running out. So I'm going to change it. One for the bin. And we're going to... Oh, this one's too light. Just keep doodling whatever you're doing. We're getting colouring pencils. Just keep chopping and changing. You can be using gel pens. You can be using felt tips. You can be using colouring pencils. Markers. Permanent markers. Whatever. Doodle, 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 doodle. Okay. And I'm going to use some markers now. These are some thick ones. Just to get a different kind of a flow going on. Now you can start bringing in maybe some stripes or some different types of doodlies. What I don't want to see here is little drawings, little perfect drawings of houses and flowers and trees and things like that. No, we just want scribbles and doodles. Okay? I know it might be hard for some people, but again, it's trying to break away from this idea of having to have something that looks like something or having to have something that's perfect or recognizable. We don't want that. This is not what this is about. This is about loosening up, being free. Kind of like as if you're 7 years of age again. You know, you don't know what you're doing, you're just doing it. There's no agenda. There's no expectations. No judgments. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's not good, it's not bad. It just is. Okay? And maybe one more kind of colour. Now what you can do is turn your book upside down. I like to do that as well to kind of see it at a different angle, get a different perspective of it. Turn it around. How's it looking that way for you? And when you start looking into it, you might start seeing different things, you know? Get that sense of imagination going. I want to get in a nice bright green just. And again, continue to listen, to feel, to smell, to touch, to hear, all them things, okay? Alright, so you will have something crazy like that. You! So let me just show you now, we've got to that stage. Let me show you something I have done before. So, this is the next stage. So, we've done all the doodles. I've added a little bit of paint to that. And then what we're going to do is now we're going to do a little bit of word flow. Okay? So, let me just look at you for a wee minute. Even though I can't see you, I want to pretend I'm looking at you. So, what we're going to do here now is we're going to get ourselves into the zone of word flow. Alright? So, word flow basically is thoughts that just keep coming in. They don't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to be anything. But what I will do is try and keep your focuses. I want you to think of something that makes you feel good. Something that makes you feel happy. Like a dream, a goal, a place, a person, a thing, whatever. Okay? And I just want you to write. Okay? So I want you to grab any kind of a pen And we're going to do some word flow. Okay, so you may take a few wee minutes just to think. And this is your kind of like your theme, your page theme. So what I'm going to think and write about is, I think, my creativity, because I just love my creativity. If I'm feeling down or worried or cross or frustrated or anxious or whatever, I like to create because it helps me, brings me back to where I want to be, brings me back to who I am. Okay, so my creativity. So what am I going to write here? Just give me some pointers here, prompts. So I'm going to write about, maybe write the word down, for example. So whatever the thing is that makes you happy, write that down to begin with. So I'm just going to write creativity here. It can be in bubble writing. It can be in just your normal handwriting. If you don't like your handwriting, you know, later on down the line, you can cut out some words from magazines and stick in some words from the magazines. Okay, so this is nothing fancy. I'm not even liking my own writing at the minute, but it's not about like, it's not about you like it or you don't like it, it just is. Okay, so just to show you, I've just written the word there, creativity. So what I want you to do now is just flow. So just like my flow here, you know, don't write it from left to right across the page or losing that. Remember, it's not, there's no lines here. So what you can do is use your own little swirly lines as a guideline if you want it, which is what I have done. So it's like little railway track, so to speak, or a little path or a walkway, a journey. Okay? So I want you to write your words like it's a journey. All right? Or little tracks. Okay? These words now can become sentences. So we could write, I might write my creativity makes me happy. It's whatever comes into your head. Okay, just in your own handwriting. You can do big writing, small writing, whatever. I just wrote that in my own normal handwriting there. Okay, keep the flow going. Okay, keep writing. Now, you will find, if this is especially the first time for you to do this, and we're all only human, and our minds have a habit of throwing in other thoughts from other things. For example, what'll I have for dinner? Did I pay that bill? You know, we want to, yes, that's going to happen, but we want to let go of that. Okay, so that's what this exercise is about as well, is letting go of the thoughts that we don't want. Okay, so we're thinking of the thing that makes us happy. Positive things. And things we don't want to think about right now would be the negative things, like doing the dishes, going to work. You know, well, going to work's not always negative. And doing dishes, may I add, is not always negative either. I do like to partake in an odd washing of the dish to get some peace of mind, even though I have a dishwasher. I don't know if I'm the only crazy person in the world that does that, but I do. So just let the words flow. If you're thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner, just, okay, that's fine. We'll park that and we'll come back to that later. So you're thinking about your thing now, whether it be food, your friends, your husband, your wife, the gym, the swimming pool, walks in the park, whatever your happy place, thing or person is. Write it all down. If you want now at this stage as well, you can doodle a few wee things. So if you want to draw a little picture of a flower or something, you know. Write down all the sentences, or even just words. They don't have to be sentences at all. It could be a full flow. It could be a full page of writing. For some, it could be just 2 or 3 words for others. It's just whatever. And remember, this page is never, ever truly finished. Nothing's ever truly finished in creativity. There's always something that could be added to it. So you might find on this page, okay, I feel as if I've done enough today. I'll come back to this tomorrow or the next day. And you might want to add more to it. That's the way I work all the time. If you look through my journals, they're never truly finished. There's always pages waiting for me to add more on. I'm working on these journals here for years. And I will keep coming back to them and looking through them and maybe getting more insights for a page or something like that. You're always flourishing and growing with your journals. That's why it's a journal. That's why it's a journey. Now, if you can't think of any more to write, I'm just going to get you to go back to some colour again. Or maybe if you have a magazine, you can flick through that magazine. You might have some images in there that might represent your positive thing. There might be words in there that you might like. For example, dream. You know, might want to cut that out and add the word dream in. You might have the word spirit there, as another one, strength. Braver, stronger, you know, things like that. You can cut those out and stick them in to your page as well. And they don't have to be all facing straight and neat. They can be going all sorts of directions. Here's an example of one here that I did a while ago as well. Okay, so it's all kind of coming up the way. I kind of did one on this page too, where I just had one little one coming out. Let me see what else I have. So again, we might have different styles of writing here. And a collage one. We might have, you know, words like this with some imagery coming from it. We might have this, where I've used the letters of the word talk and created, you know, the first letters into new words, you know, to link in with different things. I'm just trying to give you some ideas here because I'm conscious now of the time and we're coming close to finishing up. You know, there's so much you can do. Different styles of writing here in different ways. Imagery. I love to use sometimes tracing paper so you can see through the other pages. Just gives it a more arty look. This is, apologies if anybody is offended by language, but I think when you're journaling, you need to use language that is expression, as of your self-expression. This book is called Flesh. So I created this one when I'm a bodybuilder, by the way. I do that in my spare time. I do competitions, bodybuilding competitions. So this was a journal I created while I was prepping for shows and losing weight and cutting back food and all that kind of stuff. So this has a lot of harsh wording in it. Not for the faint-hearted. But, you know, just trying to show you and give you different ways of creating your first journal. So, guys, you know, you're going to keep working that till you get to something, you know, something like what I have here as your first page. And then it's up to you to continue on that theme if you want throughout your journal, or you can have a different theme for each page. It's absolutely entirely up to you. So I would just like to thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. It's something I'm very, very passionate about. I love it and I think it's so beneficial for our world and our beautiful humans in this world of all ages, right from the ages of 7 till 97. I think everybody in this world should have a creative journal. It is so good on so many levels. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to know more about what I do, my name is Bernie Wilson and I have different Facebook pages. One called Art Farm, where I do a lot of creative services on there. And the other is called Human Being Myself, where I show my work, my soul work and my creative journals. And I also run journaling workshops and painting workshops and all sorts. So you can go with those, you can check those out if you want on Facebook. I would just like to say thank you very much and all the best in your beautiful journey of creativity. Thank you. Bye.